All right, guys, now we're going to talk about business names and logos. How do you come up with a business name? How do you come up with a logo? And just like everything else, guys, I see this as a very simple task. It shouldn't take a long time. It shouldn't take a lot of your energy. Do not fall into the trap of spending endless hours trying to come up with the perfect business name, the perfect business logo, putting in the color that you love the most. Um, these elements of your business are trivial and most likely will change down the line. So just understand, just like a lot of companies, they change their logo. Sometimes they even change their name. So for now, it's important just to have a name. Okay. And a lot of times when you're making business names, if you don't like it after a while, you can also create what's called a DBA, or doing business as, and create another name that can work under the same umbrella as your current name. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. There's there's a lot of different ways to come up with names, guys. Like, I'm not going to show you the perfect way to come up with a name that's going to be the best name out of any name that you can think of, but I'll share with you some of mine, and that way you guys can see what it is that or how it is that I come up with these names. So first off, my name is Moana. In the Samoan language where I'm from, it means blue. It can mean ocean, water, a lot of different things. But Blue was a nickname of mine that I've always had growing up. Some people call me Moana. Some people call me Blue. A lot of my best friends call me Blue. So, I have this name, Blue. Okay. So when I went to create my first LLC, guess what I called it? I called it Blue World LLC. That's it. Okay. And my logo was pretty cheap. I bought it on like Fiverr or something, and it didn't really look good at all. It's funny, when I look back at it, it actually looked really weird, but I spent so much time on it. And I spent so much effort on it. And I just, I just remember thinking, like, man, this has to be perfect. For people to take me serious, this has to be perfect. I got to make sure that this looks this way, this looks a certain way. But I'm going to tell you guys right now, honestly, it doesn't really matter. Okay. Because in the end, you're going to change it. Once you understand more about your business, you're going to change it into something different, more than likely. Okay. So now I have this, Blue World LLC. And in all honesty, guys, I don't really use that as an official name for any of my businesses, but what I can do is create a DBA, doing business as. Okay. And have a different name. Okay. Another business that I run under this one is called, so this is a DBA, Monetize Ventures. Okay. And that's a name for me that, as I was going along and building my business and figuring out the meaning of my business, the purpose of my business, okay, I ended up figuring out this name, Monetize. And it's very simple, Mana in the Polynesian language, there's a lot of different meanings, but it has to do with power, spirituality, a lot of different things. And if you like The Rock, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, he talks about mana a lot, right? Mana, it's a feeling, it's a culture, it's everything. It's kind of like the heartbeat, the spirit, the soul of a business, or the soul of a community, of a culture, of a people. That's mana. And we believe on the islands that mana can be felt if you come into that type of business, or that not business, that type of community, or that type of island. You get this feeling, and that feeling we call mana. Okay. So mana, and it's a play on the word monetize, which is a word that I love, right? Monetizing a business, right? And so I kind of did a play on that word and called my business Monetize, meaning not only do I want to have this business or ventures underneath this business that are money-making businesses, but I'm actually monetizing opportunities and ventures and making money, but also infusing in them what I believe is very important, and that is mana, the spirit of family, of love, of trust, all of that. And I believe that that is very lacking in the world today. So any business that I get involved in that falls under monetized ventures or businesses that I monetize, and also businesses that I infuse mana, spirit, love, culture into these businesses as well. So monetized ventures. The reason I bring this up, guys, is again, my parent company, Blue World LLC. Um, it doesn't matter what that business's name is. It really just doesn't matter. Every entity needs a name. A lot of I've even opened up entities that are called, you know, 123, you know, 101 LLC. Okay, there, you can name it anything really, you know. So again, it doesn't really matter, guys, up front, because as you go along, you're gonna be able to then come up with names that have a lot more meaning, and then also uh, create logos that match that meaning. I'm gonna show you one right now, guys, that is actually something that I just created, me and my team. So we've been trying to think of a logo for a call center that we're doing in the Pacific. Okay, so we came up with the name Pacific Link, trying to link the Pacific to everywhere. And there's other businesses that have this name too, but for us, we'll probably end up calling it Pacific Link Technologies or something like that, so that we're not infringing on somebody else's name. Um, but I wanted to share this with you guys because I wanted you guys to see the process. And this is, guys, this process honestly took us probably about a day and a half, right? So I'm going to show you this. I mean, we started texting back and forth about this name Pacific Link, and we shared ideas with me and a couple of my team members. We also shared some other logos that we liked, other well-known companies, right? Amazon, Logitech. You know, there's a few things in here. I love this this font, right? So we're sending it back and forth. We already have the name Pacific Link. We have examples of companies that are very prominent out there that are doing good things. Found a font that we liked, and then I ended up coming with this with my design guy. We came up with this, okay, Pacific Link. But we also threw in some meaning in there with a wave, you know, because we're out in the Pacific Ocean. Again, and people will look at this and think that, man, this probably took you guys a long time to think of, to come up with. But in all honesty, guys, this is a day and a half of work of us just going back and forth, you know, and figuring it out. And we put it out there. We may even change this down the road, but I think it looks amazing. So Pacific Link is the name of the company, and this is our logo. So again, do I think a logo is important? 100%, guys. I think a logo is very, very important. But I'll always go back and say that it is not worth spending a crazy amount of time trying to figure something out, picking the perfect colors and whatnot. You know, obviously I've been doing this for a while. So a day and a half may not work for you guys. It may be a little bit longer than that, but just know and understand and trust that even if it's not perfect, okay, I'll go back to the quote that I like, and that's imperfect action always, always, always trumps perfect inaction. Act, get it done, put it out there, start your entity, but again, make sure that you're not spending too much time on this name and logo. That's why I had this topic at the end of this chapter, is because it's not as important as you think, guys. So don't waste too much time on it. So recap, in this chapter, we learned the three main types of partnerships. Okay, you have active or equity partners that own equity in the business, silent partners that are normally finance partners that put in money, but they don't necessarily take part in the day-to-day. Okay, it's just like investing in stock in a different company, silent partner. And then you have profit share partners, okay, partners that aren't necessarily equity owners, but they do a lot of work. They're kind of like commission partners, maybe a little bit more, but they're able to share in the profit of the business that they bring to the table. So again, we learned that partnerships are like marriage, what you should look for in a partner, the consequences of working with friends or family if you choose to do so, the different types of structures and how they work, entity structures, sole proprietor, LLC, C Corp, S Corp, the 5 steps of the hiring process, okay, position, okay, making sure they're in the right position, personality, loyalty, industry experience, and cognitive ability. We also talked about the 2 personality tests, or the DISC personality assessment, and also the Wonderlic cognitive ability test. We also talked about what team members you need to start off with, where to find them, how to vet them, CPAs, accountants, attorneys, graphic designers, ad agencies, social media marketers. And also we talked about, very importantly, what your culture should look like, okay? How to have a successful culture in your business, and modeling after other successful companies and other successful companies' culture model in order to create your own, okay? We also talk here in the end why your name and logo is important, but not as important as you think. And it's something that honestly you should not spend more than 2 or 3 days coming up with in the beginning, because it can and will change down the road, okay? So in the end, guys, jump into the action list here for this chapter. If you haven't taken the test already, take your personality test, take your cognitive ability test, okay? All the action items for chapter 3. Go ahead and take all of those as well before you move on to the next chapter. It's time to go. It's time to act, guys. Excited. Let's move on to the next chapter. Here we go.